Hello, welcome back to the channel. I've actually got an update today after long last. I remember speaking previously in my videos about a potential move on tether dominance doing this, and it looks like it's currently in play. However, that being said, I don't know if the full extent to the October period will occur. I mean, it could, and that would be the time to buy after the FOMC, which people are picking to be potentially bearish for the month of September for a 2 week period. But there is, I guess, arguments against the possible drawdown on the September period because of what I was showing at the start of this video and something that we've currently locked in with Bitcoin. And I did remember drawing this structure previously on my previous videos. I actually drew the line a lot lower. I was doing something like this down to, potentially 104 and then doing something like that. If you look at the previous videos, that's sort of what I was drawing and implying that the price would probably do. And it has occurred until this point. Why I've marked out this golden pocket, mind you, this is in the Brave New Coin ticker, so it's not completely up to date. As you can see with a live chart, we've bounced from the golden pocket area already. And why I've marked this is because you'd expect continuation to occur from here, and that is probably the low in for Bitcoin from my personal opinion. If it continues to break down, especially below the 98 level, there is room to have concern that this bull cycle is potentially over. So ideally we want to retain this area. We can extend down to 0.786 and come back up, but that doesn't look like the case currently. We're already bouncing from this level. Obviously we can revisit this level and then hold that level, but I'm going to walk us through why it's important. And the current structure of the market has so far held the 0.618 level, and there's actually on some charts there is a liquidation candle here that hits the 0.618. Let me open up Bybit here. You can see here, and I think on the Binance USDT chart as well, it flicks down and it hits the 0.618. I'll just show it on this chart for now because it's a live chart and has all the levels drawn out. But as you can see, when measured as such, the 0.618 is tagged on this move here when measured from this starting point here. Obviously you can do that and it misses that actual level. To find when that was the low, you could have confluence with this 0.618 box level here, like that, right? There's two points here that can help you decide to purchase at that level and have a potential pivot there as well. So 0.618 and 1.618 overlap at that level. But as you can see throughout this entire market, when measuring the ranges, especially on this big drawdown as well in September 2024, the 0.618 level was tagged, but it was held as support. You can see the same here for the drawdown in January 2024. It hits exactly on the 0.618 from the range low measured to the range high there. Same with this move here. You could say that this broke down the 0.618 like that high, and if you were to measure here, it didn't retain the 0.618. The rule we're setting here for these particular scenarios is that the highs are broken and there is a range established above the previous high on a daily basis, right? And we didn't really establish a range above these highs. We did, however, establish a range above these highs and measured from the top to the established low. You had the 0.618, and same for this drawdown here, right? So as you can see, I'm just trying to emphasize that this is something that is continued throughout a bullish trend. And the fact that we're at the ending stages of the 4-year cycle, if it's going to play out, we're going to, I guess, think that there's probably a good chance that the upside continues, or continues sometime in the near future should we have a down period in October, which has been a seasonal thing. I've actually marked out in red the August of all of the runs in all previous cycles. However, I'll address those after I get through all the 0.618 measurement levels on all markets, right? So I'll go to the 2021 bull market. As you can see, let's start from the bottom here. We'll just start from the initiation of this move, this range high, range low, golden pocket, it holds. Range high, range low, retains the golden pocket. Same with this high, this low, retains golden pocket. As we move up, again, we're retaining golden pockets all the way through. This doesn't even reach golden pocket when measured out. It's actually hitting probably like 0.386 or something. I can't remember the actual fib. Yeah, 0.382 level, which is generally more bullish or more chance of continuation if it bounces off that level, right? And it does exactly that. And once we start breaking 0.618 measures from high to low, that's when you start to see weakness in the market structure and potential high being put in, right? And this lower high in the to the rebound zone, this is when a lot of alts started to make some final pushes before large drawdowns and obviously the final bull cycle, bull market peak after the fact as well. So I don't think that this cycle is going to end in the same way. We're very late into the cycle at the moment. I think we're in sort of one of these periods right now, and perhaps we don't even get like a secondary high. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But in this move down, people are comparing this high with this structure here because it's very similar, right? And why that is that we have, let me draw this. We have this, we have a march up, a flag, march up, a flag, and then a double top down, right? Double top down. And that's fair concern. However, we shouldn't like compare fractals in this way, because that's how biases are set up due to a pattern without the context of the fact that the market cycles are generally stretched out over that 4-year period as well. So, and I do think at the moment, only the rotation to Ethereum has occurred, and markets, well, crypto cycles so far have ended with the capital rotation into at least the mid caps of the altcoin market. People are generally greedy and will try to harvest as much capital from the market as possible. So saying that there's not going to be an alt season means that the psychology of humans has failed, which is very unlikely, because the whales are probably going to pump altcoins in order to make a bit more cash in the end, right, after their big gains on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Let's go to the 2018 cycle. Same thing. We've actually got, extremely large ranges. So I've actually measured from the top to the start of the rally, and you got golden pockets throughout the entire thing as well. And we're sort of like in this period here in the August, September. The difference is that the August period was positive here. I've marked out red August in bull markets, right? And obviously here at the peak, measured from top to bottom, 0.618, and then it breaks any 0.618. It doesn't even make a new high. It only goes to the rebound zone in the center here, right? 0.618 in the middle, rejects, and it goes down, and that's the end of the cycle. And this is when the alts rallied the most, actually. They made new peaks. And that seems to be the case for the cycle so far. So on this secondary lower peak, that's when you have your final blow off tops on altcoins. So let's have the analysis of the monthly charts. And why that is important is because the monthlies, let's delete all the fibs. Should have gripped these before and hit them, but it's whatever. I've marked out all Augusts in bull markets that have appeared red, right? And the month after is what we're looking for, so the September period. The September period of all months of all red Augusts have been green, except for one, the August of 2019. The context there is slightly different in the case, in the sense that it was a mid-cycle, but now we are later into the cycle. That being said, every August that occurred, every August that was a green month, not every single one, but majority of them ended up with red Septembers. So what am I looking for in particular now for more of a confirmation that this isn't some sort of like bearish pattern, and the difference between like, you know, this high and, you know, this high being set in the market. Going to the weekly charts, we do have another day left. Something that I would like to see for the charts is reclaiming this weekly low here, so the $112,000 level, so bounce a wick above there. That would give the market a little bit more confidence that this is not a breakdown, and there is, you know, obviously structural support here of these highs here, a lot of supply here of people trading the level, and a break above or re-entry into this range would be an ideal situation. But also, we obviously in the next day are unlikely to reclaim $115,000. In saying that as well, let's go to the Bitcoin dominance chart. The Bitcoin dominance chart is actually showing weakness, which is good because we've seen the Ethereum chart start marching up. And something quite curious as well, which is worth mentioning, and I'll whip the charts up here. I don't know if all the charts are set up as they should be, but I'll try my best for you guys. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. I'll get Bitcoin here, Bitcoin here. Oh man, what is all this garbage? Let's better. Let's see if I can get the right chart here. Right. The purple line, or sorry, the pink line is the Ethereum all-time high. And that's extremely important because this pink line here is also the Ethereum all-time high. That's not a good signal here that the Ethereum level has dropped down there, but I will give a bit of context on why these things are currently important and where I currently think we are in the actual cycle, or the current structure rather, right? BTC, USDT, set that up right here. Cool. All right. So I do think we are sort of in this type of section here, right? And I'll try to draw these things out for all of us, where, let's copy paste this. So this has done this, and this has done this. Let's do that. Perhaps we have that coming for us. What we want to note here is that Bitcoin is making lower lows and Ethereum is making higher lows. I promise this is going somewhere. Just need to show this here. Right. All right. This low here. This high here. This low here. Cool. So as you can see, Bitcoin actually broke down to a lower low. Ethereum broke down to a higher low. And then on the bounce that potentially is coming, Ethereum starts to approach the all-time high. And once the all-time high is broken, that's when a lot of altcoins start to rally extremely heavily. And the point at which Ethereum breaks the all-time high is around here. And that is, I'm not sure what's going to happen to Bitcoin after that point. Every cycle is different. Perhaps it goes up even higher as well. But something worth noting as well is these periods of time are in similar parts of, apologies, I'm trying to find the chart. This is the chart that I want, I think. So many charts, apologies. All right, sweet. That's the one. We're sort of in the same period of time on the Bitcoin dominance as well. So we're dropping as we're approaching the Ethereum all-time high. So a lot is pointing to the fact that the market probably has support here, and the next move on Bitcoin sends Ethereum higher and select altcoins, probably like your mid caps, and the small caps happen at the tail end, very much closer to the end of the year. So yeah, that's sort of all I wanted to cover. At the moment, there's no point, I guess, giving up yet, unless we start to break below this $98,000 level, and that's when I would start to consider the fact that this is probably over and done with, and that was the actual high, and it is in fact similar to this over here. But until that point, this is potentially still going to continue to the upside. All right, that's it. Cheers.